scientists.
The scientists.
The scientific community.
Scientists.
Scientific revolution.
At first glance, scientific discoveries might seem straightforward.
You believe this is the only universe. There's not just one universe.
But some findings are truly alarming, even to the experts.
We must acknowledge that indications of the existence of parallel worlds.
These revelations have left scientists around the world in a state of shock and concern.
Fast is growing. Every single cell is a muscle cell and a nerve cell.
Join us as we dive into the discoveries that have shaken the scientific community to its core. Ready to uncover the truth? Let's get started. 1. AI detection of alien life. Scientists have been on the hunt for aliens forever, right? But now they've seriously upped their game with some next-level AI.
Imagine trying to find a needle in a haystack, but you're not entirely sure what the needle looks like, or even if it's made of the same material as our needle.
This isn't just any tech, it's scanning the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial life with jaw-dropping accuracy. Gone are the days of poring over mountains of data and missing the good stuff. This AI is catching complex signals that humans easily overlook. Using the Breakthrough Listen Project tech, this AI has snagged 8 signals from 5 stars around the cosmic corner that everyone else missed. And these signals? They're not just interstellar static, they hint at real, possible alien chatter. What's more, this AI isn't just listening to the echoes of the universe, it's also getting hands-on, sorting the living from the non-living with over 90% accuracy. That's crucial for those Martian road trips we've been dreaming about. 2. CRISPR gene editing. Hold up, folks. Before you dive into the futuristic wonder of CRISPR gene editing,
but it's one of the most powerful tools science has ever known.
You might want to turn the lights on for this one. Imagine wielding the power to tweak DNA with pinpoint accuracy. That's CRISPR for you, a technology that's as promising as it is perilous. It's like having the ultimate editing tool, but with the potential to press the wrong button accidentally. Sometimes, CRISPR gets it wrong, meddling with parts of DNA it should steer clear of, potentially sparking new diseases or triggering catastrophic mutations that could lead to cancer or other severe health nightmares. The eerie idea of designer babies is no longer just a plot in a sci-fi movie. We're talking about picking traits like eye color, intelligence, or physical strength right from the embryo. It's real, and it's igniting fierce ethical debates. To mess or not to mess with human genetics? Plus, think about the social chasm it could create. Gene-enhanced elites versus the rest. 3. Xenobots. Xenobots are tiny, self-replicating nanobots crafted from stem cells of African clawed frog embryos.
The final design of the first digital Xenobot.
These little guys, designed by some brainy AI, can do a ton of stuff. They swim around collecting nasty microplastics from our oceans, they can zip through your body, delivering drugs exactly where needed, and they even perform surgeries from the inside. Oh, and get this, they can heal themselves and team up to tackle complex tasks. These nanobots can multiply on their own. The big worry? Losing control. A swarm of these bots going haywire, multiplying like crazy, could lead to a terrifying gray goo scenario where they gobble up all biomass on the planet. Yep, that means everything. And the ethical side of things? It's a minefield. Misuse as biological weapons, accidental releases, you name it. The thought of these bots evolving out of our control? Chills. 4. Human-animal chimeras. In what seems like a plot ripped straight from a sci-fi movie, scientists are now crafting creatures straight out of mythology, human-animal chimeras. We're talking human-pig and human-monkey hybrids here. Researchers are splicing human stem cells into animal embryos to get a better grip on human diseases and maybe, just maybe, to grow organs for transplants, given the desperate need for donor organs.
They then implanted the stem cells of a rat into that embryo, and those rat cells grew a rat pancreas inside the mouse.
But what if human cells wander into an animal's brain? Imagine animals walking around with human-like smarts, and it gets weirder. What if these cells slip into the animal's reproductive bits? Suddenly, you could have animals that might produce human eggs or sperm. The mind boggles. While the science is nothing short of spectacular and could revolutionize medicine, it's walking a tightrope of ethical quandaries. These chimeras are blurring lines we never thought could be blurred, raising big-time questions about identity and rights. 5. Mind-controlled prosthetics. There's this wild new development in the world of science known as mind-controlled prosthetics. Amputees can now control prosthetic limbs with their thoughts alone. It's like gaining superpowers, which is as thrilling
To get that kind of control, you really have to go to the nerve.
as it is kind of spooky, right? These limbs aren't your average prosthetics. They're rigged with electrodes that dive deep into your nerves, muscles, and even bones, translating your brainwaves into action. And guess what? They can send feelings back to you too. Touch something and you actually feel it. Wild, right? But hold up, there's a catch. These high-tech wonders come with risks, like infections from the implants and the downright creepy possibility of hacking. Yep, someone could theoretically take control of your limb. 6. Human-induced extinctions. This pretty alarming story unfolds about how humans are basically speeding up extinctions on our planet.
The scientists used models based on satellite data to forecast sea ice decline in the Arctic over the coming decades.
Yep, it's our own actions causing a real mess with Earth's biodiversity. Scientists are freaking out because these extinctions are happening way faster than they should naturally. It's like we're starring in our own horror show called the Sixth Mass Extinction. As humans bulldoze through nature with deforestation, pollution, overfishing, and climate change, we've trashed about 75% of Earth's land and 2/3 of our oceans. It's like a scene from a disaster movie where ecosystems crumble and species vanish faster than snacks at a movie marathon. 7. Dark matter and dark energy. In astrophysics, dark matter and dark energy are seriously freaking everyone out. Most of what's out there is this invisible, elusive stuff that even the smartest brains can barely grasp.
Black holes, everything we know about, to account for this gravity that we see.
Dark matter? It's basically the universe's phantom lurking around silently. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but it's there, holding galaxies in its spooky embrace, making up about 27% of the cosmos. It's the champion of cosmic hide-and-seek, not giving off any light or energy. Then there's dark energy, an even weirder cat. Accounting for roughly 68% of the universe, it popped onto the scene in the late 90s, discovered through some mind-bending supernova action. This mysterious force is the rebel of the universe, pushing galaxies away from each other, totally snubbing gravity's pull. 8. Lingering radioactivity. Let's zoom in on the Marshall Islands, where between 1946 and 1958, the US popped off 66 nuclear tests like they were fireworks. The result? A massive mess of radioactive gunk contaminating the ocean, soil, and everything natural.
The uranium which the material had contained originally had already been removed for use in manufacturing glass.
Despite major cleanup attempts, a terrifying amount of this nastiness still hangs around. This big push to fix things. A bomb crater turned into a creepy concrete grave. They mixed up 111,000 cubic yards of radioactive dirt and debris, cemented it in, and capped it with more concrete. But plot twist, the bottom isn't sealed. Tidal waters keep sneaking through, stirring up all that radioactive chaos. 9. Pristine exoplanetary configurations. NASA's Kepler mission has been peeping into the cosmos, and boy did it stumble upon something mind-blowing.
Super habitable planet lists aren't the ones you could visit anytime soon.
We're talking about exoplanetary systems that are so freakishly orderly that it's like nothing we've got in our own backyard. Planets in these far-off systems are doing this perfect cosmic dance. They're locked in what's called orbital resonances, spinning around their stars so smoothly that it makes our solar system look like a chaotic mess. You know, where planets bump and grind into each other over billions of years. The eggheads are scratching their heads big time. This discovery tosses a wrench into everything we thought we knew about how planets get together and stay together. It hints at some wild, unknown forces or conditions at play, making these distant worlds tick like clockwork while we deal with cosmic bumper cars. 10. Inverse vaccines. This one will flip everything you thought you knew about vaccines on its head. So, there's this wild new concept in medicine called inverse vaccines, which are unlike the regular vaccines that go in, fighting hard against diseases.
But a regulatory vaccine, an inverse vaccine, revs up regulatory mechanisms.
These bad boys do the exact opposite. They teach our immune system to chill out and not attack certain parts of our own bodies. 11. The deadly cone snail. In the weird and wild world of marine biology, scientists have stumbled upon a creature known as the cone snail. This tiny mollusk, lurking mostly in tropical waters, packs a venom so potent it can zap its prey into paralysis almost instantly, something so small yet so deadly.
But with some 40,000 different species of snails, a few are bound to buck the system.
What's the deal with these snails? They sport this crazy harpoon-like tooth, right? They use it to spear and inject venom into fish, which are way bigger and quicker. And just like that, the fish are toast. Talk about a David and Goliath story. But here's where it gets even spookier. One of these snails, nicknamed the cigarette snail, has venom lethal enough to unalive a human in just a few hours if you're unlucky enough to get stung and don't get help fast. 12. Turtles' unique respiration. Some turtles have this freaky ability to breathe through their butts. This bizarre talent is known as cloacal respiration. It's not your everyday science fact, and honestly, it's as weird as it sounds. Imagine diving into a river and spotting a turtle that doesn't bother coming up for air. Instead, it just chills underwater, absorbing oxygen through its cloaca, which is basically its rear end. Turtles, like the Fitzroy River turtle and the Mary River turtle, are the stars of this show. They have these special parts called bursae in their cloacas that let them soak up oxygen straight from the water. Now, why should we care? Well, these turtles can hang out underwater for ages without taking a breath. This trick is super handy in fast-flowing rivers where popping your head out could mean saying hello to a hungry predator or getting swept away. 13. Zombie cells. Meet the zombie cells, or as the boffins like to call them, senescent cells.
Inflammation is thought to increase the risk of diseases.
These cells stop dividing but hang around like unwelcome guests at a party, wreaking havoc in your body. Discovered back in the swinging 60s, these undead cells throw out some seriously nasty chemicals that cause inflammation and damage your tissues. They're linked to the nasties like diabetes, heart disease, and dementia. Instead of bowing out gracefully, these cells linger, pumping up the aging process and boosting the risk of chronic diseases. But scientists are gearing up for a showdown. They've crafted these nifty drugs called senolytics that target these pesky zombie cells, wiping them out while leaving the healthy cells untouched. The research? It's pretty wild. In obese mice, zapping these zombie cells dialed down blood sugar levels and cranked up insulin action, hinting at new ways to tackle diabetes. And in older mice, wiping these cells off the map toned down inflammation and pepped up their overall health, dialing back the aging clock. 14. Black holes. Black holes are the universe's own versions of ghost stories, but they are way more real and infinitely more mind-boggling.
You're observing one from a giant telescope here on Earth.
These cosmic beasts are like nature's vacuum cleaners, sucking in everything around them, even light. Yes, not even light can make a getaway from these gravitational monsters. That's why they're totally invisible, playing hide and seek with us using only the cosmic mess they leave behind. Now let's rewind a bit. The whole chilling concept of black holes kicked off when Subramanian Chandrasekhar threw this wild idea into the cosmos. Later, legends like Stephen Hawking and John Wheeler jumped on the bandwagon, tuning it into a theory that's as spooky as it is spectacular. At first, everyone was like, "No way, that's too out there." But as the universe spilled more secrets, the naysayers had to take a seat. 15. The power of EMC2. Here's a spooky one for you. Einstein's famous formula, EEMC2. Sounds like standard science, right? But hold on, because there's a chilling twist to this tale. When pumped up by the speed of light squared, which is a monstrously huge number, a little bit of mass transforms into a massive amount of energy. That's right. A tiny speck of matter can unleash a catastrophic explosion. Now let's talk about the truly scary part. This equation is the brain behind nuclear energy and, yep, atomic bombs. Back during World War II, scientists tapped into this nightmare equation to create weapons that could wipe out entire cities. Just a smidge of matter leveled Hiroshima, a real-life horror story showcasing the terrifying might of EMC2. Fast forward, and the specter of EMC2 still looms large. Sure, we use nuclear power for electricity, which sounds all well and good, but the dark side? This same science could forge weapons far scarier than what we've already seen. As tech marches on, the fear is that this mind-boggling power could fall into the wrong hands. 16. Synthetic hormones. Synthetic hormones, those crafty mimics of our body's own chemical messengers,
every cell, every tissue, every organ in the body,
are a modern marvel and a bit of a horror story rolled into one. Think about it. They're in everything from the pill that prevents pregnancy to treatments that ease the roller coaster of menopause. These synthetic stand-ins, like the ethinyl estradiol in birth control, do their job all right, but they come with some chilling side effects. We're talking increased risks of blood clots, strokes, and even some cancers. Yikes, right? And that's just for starters. Now let's not forget about Mother Nature. These hormones don't just vanish, they get into the wild through ways like runoff from farms, messing up the hormone balance of unsuspecting wildlife. The result? Fish and frogs facing messed up reproductive cycles and skewed sex ratios. It's the kind of thing that gives eco-friendly folks nightmares. 17. Gray whales' reproductive behavior. Gray whales are doing something pretty wild out in the depths of the North Pacific. They're not just taking leisurely swims, they're embarking on a massive trek covering up to 12,000 miles from icy Arctic waters down to the sunny shores of Baja California, Mexico. Why? It's all for love, or more scientifically, for breeding and birthing. Now hold on a second. Their reproductive game? It's intense and synchronized, peaking from mid-November to early December, right in the thick of their epic journey. These giants romance on the move, without munching on anything, just burning through their fat reserves. When it comes to winning over a lady whale, it's no holds barred. These males aren't just flirting, they're breaching, tails slapping, throwing their massive bodies around to show who's boss. This roughhousing ensures only the strongest genes make the cut, but it's a brutal business that can take a toll on their health and lifespan. 18. We're all apes. Think about this moment. You were scrolling through your family tree and bam! You discover your distant relatives aren't just from another state, they're apes. Yeah, great apes like chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans.
She's the most beautiful Puroda he's ever seen.
Turns out that Charles Darwin was onto something with his theory of evolution, suggesting that we humans are just part of the primate lineup. Fossil finds and DNA tests have thrown us a curveball, showing that we share about 98.7% of our DNA with chimpanzees, our closest cousins in the animal kingdom. This not only puts us firmly in the primate family tree, but also slaps a big question mark on the whole humans are special saga we've been telling ourselves. This revelation is shaking up some long-held views and sparking heated debates. Imagine realizing you're not just an observer of the natural world, you're right in the mix, swinging from the branches of shared ancestry. This challenges everything from cultural to religious beliefs, making us question what it means to be human. 19. Genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Scientists have been tinkering with the very blueprint of life in the lab. They're messing with the DNA of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, to jazz them up with traits that Mother Nature never even dreamed of. On the bright side, GMOs could be our heroes, tackling big-time agricultural and medical problems. But hold your horses, there's a flip side. Some brainy folks are scratching their heads over the long-term effects on our health. Sure, plenty of studies give GMOs the green light, saying they're safe. But whispers about potential allergies and sneaky toxins linger, raising eyebrows. So far, no monster crops or mutant animals have wreaked havoc. But who's to say what's down the road? And it's not just about us. What about nature? GMO crops could buddy up with wild plants, spawning superweeds that laugh in the face of regular herbicides. This could push farmers towards harsher chemicals. Oh, and those GMO salmon that bulk up super fast? If they play Houdini and escape, they could throw a wrench in the local ecosystem. 20. The multiverse theory. Our universe might just be a tiny speck in an endless sea of universes, each one marching to the beat of its own cosmic drum, with totally different rules.
He said that when his equations seemed to describe several different histories,
this out-there notion popped up back in the 80s, when some super smart folks were trying to wrap their heads around the Big Bang and all that explosive chaos from the universe's early days. As our own universe was stretching out at breakneck speed, other chunks of space-time might have been off doing their own wild thing, sprouting separate universes left and right. It's like every decision you make could whip up a brand new universe where another version of you went the other way. But don't freak out. You can't bump into these alternate versions of yourself. These other universes are way out of reach, way beyond what even the best of our telescopes can spy on. Scientists have been busting their brains trying to spot any signs by checking out galaxy formations and black hole shenanigans, but so far, nada. So stay with us as we continue to explore and reveal astonishing discoveries. And the next time you hear about a groundbreaking scientific find, remember that even the experts can be taken aback by what they uncover. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.